Hey, what's going on? Jeff Ratcliffe here. You know, it's fantasy football draft season, my favorite time of the year. And one of the most common questions I get asked, which player do you prefer? Player A, player B? Love those player comparisons. And let's face it, sometimes choosing the wrong player is a bad thing for fantasy. So let's break down a player comparison, a player choice you might have to make with some borderline wide receiver ones, Tyreek Hill or T.Y. Hilton, right? Tyreek Hill obviously coming off of a breakout season last year, finished 9th in PPR scoring, so massive numbers from Tyreek Hill. But if you look along the way, it was a little bit of a bumpy ride, not the most consistent receiver on a week-to-week basis. Still, we know the upside is absolutely enormous with Tyreek Hill, and I think that ceiling might even be higher this year. You know, last year he did that with Alex Smith, and definitely not a knock on Alex Smith, but Alex Smith and upside typically aren't things that we think of together. However, this year, Patrick Mahomes is going to be under center for the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes is a bit of a wild card, there's no doubt about it. How does he translate to being a full-time starter in the NFL? But what we know, at the college level, the numbers were gaudy. The performances were insane. The upside is very real with him. So that plus Hill's upside, I mean, multiply those two things together and you could get some big-time fantasy results. The one concern, if there is a concern that I have about Tyreek Hill, somewhat dependent on longer touchdowns. And longer touchdowns are very difficult to replicate, to sustain over the course of multiple seasons. So if there is a knock, that is a big one for sure. So let's talk about T.Y. Hilton. He's kind of two different receivers if you think about it. So if you think about over the last couple seasons, without Andrew Luck on the field, T.Y. Hilton is essentially a boom or bust wide receiver 2 option. We saw that last year. We saw it in 2015 as well. With Andrew Luck on the field, T.Y. Hilton is a wide receiver 1 with borderline elite upside, and we saw that in 2016 and in 2014. You know, let's go back to 2016. Look at the numbers for T.Y. Hilton, 96 catches, almost top triple digits there. Had 1,321 receiving yards, had 12 touchdowns with Luck on the field. So the big question, will Luck be on the field? And everything so far in the preseason is pointing to the fact that Luck will be back under center for the Indianapolis Colts. He's already participated in a preseason game. He's been throwing, obviously, all practices. That's good. You know, maybe, just maybe, we can exhale a little bit. And with Luck back on the field, obviously it's very good things for T.Y. Hilton. So both of these guys, a lot of upside for fantasy purposes, but if I have to choose one, who am I going with? I'm going with T.Y. Hilton. I believe in Andrew Luck, I really do. I believe he's going to be back on the field, and I think that's good things for the passing game, not to mention the fact Frank Reich is there, so we could see some quasi K-gun offense. Remember that Buffalo Bills offense from the early 90s that Frank Reich played on those teams? We could see sort of the next version of that with Andrew Luck. That means hurry up tempo, pushing the ball downfield, getting the ball into T.Y. Hilton's hands. So that's my choice. Who's your choice? Why don't you tell us in the comments below? And of course, like the video and subscribe for more video content. And go check out all the fantasy football goodness at ProFootballFocus.com.